Doesn't this route feel like just like a bit different than the rest? Because usually, like, the conflict was shown to us at literally the very start of the route. And that conflict has kind of already been done. It's not dealt with because we're dealing with the repercussions of it. Whereas, like, the other ones weren't really dealt with until, like, you know, that actual conflict wasn't settled until the very end of the route. Whereas that is done. And I guess the conflict with this one is just trying to get Sachi to open up and, you know, do all that stuff, which I guess you could say, if you think about it, it's, I don't know, it feels different. Not that it's bad in a bad way. I'm just saying it feels different to me than the rest of them. 3 minutes left. Also, I just smashed my hand on the desk. I'm waiting for Sachi just outside the gate where we'd arranged to meet up earlier this morning. Oh god, I hope she didn't get fashion advice from Michiru. But then again, she might be wearing the outfits that I bought her that I may have forgotten that I bought her. Sounded like Michiru was in her room a few minutes ago, but I doubt Sachi'd let that hold her up. Oh, that said, we gotta get going pretty soon, or we won't catch the bus. I muttered to myself and glanced at my watch, but oh Jesus, I just barely heard it. But in the next instant, there's a trotting sound of footsteps approaching from the direction of the dorm. Precisely on time as always. You just change? Like, hey! Fucking Yuji. I turn around and find myself face to face with an unknown individual. Well, wear maid outfit. I think she rocks that very well. Who are you supposed to be? Alright, no nonsense, as per usual. True, you did an impressive job reproducing her face, but that's a fundamental flaw in your little disguise. The Sachi I know always wears a maid uniform. Haha! Ooh, I like that, because, you know, she is changing ever so slowly, but we'll get there. Just say what now? Alright, don't jump to conclusions. Let's say she isn't lying. Is there any other way to explain this? Did someone spike my tea? Well, considering you've worn the same outfit for like 128 episodes, yes. Holy shit, it's been a long series, boys and girls. Downright shocking. Almost as bad as the one time where everyone else at the table started pouring sugar onto their natto instead of salt. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know what that is. Considering her demeanor and willingness to roll with the conversation, it seems this really must be the genuine Sachi. No! Don't bring that up! Don't bring anything up about the past! But seriously, I don't think I'd ever had a simple change of clothes completely transform my impression of somebody like this before. In her school uniform, she comes off as a well-bred class rep type, and in her other uniform, she's the very picture of a maid. But the young, oh my god, I mean, I saw young, so I said, but the Sachi before my very eyes is the girl I knew when I was young. It's like I'm staring at a vivid memory from the days when she'd pull me around the playground. I'll believe it this time, but I'm gonna have to do some more research. Yeah, I am. But why'd you suddenly take off the maid uniform? Oh, God, I'm just playing with you. Yeah, just said what I was thinking.
なのでメイド服以外の格好、ゆうくんに買っていただいた服を着ている私も見ていただこうと思ったんです。
I see. Most likely, this nicely coordinated outfit has something to do with Michiru's visit to Sachi's room just now. Not even a day after she got the diddly advice from Sakaki, come to think of it. Wouldn't have guessed it at first, but it seems this school is packed full of helpful types.
それにゆうくんはその服はお前が着たいと思った時に着てくれればいいと言ってくれました。
So I felt like wearing them today.
私が可愛い服を着たいと思う時、それがゆうくんと海でデートができる今日だったんです。
I also hope you have a swimsuit under that, because aren't we going to the beach? For the first time since I entered Mahama Academy, Sachi's wearing something other than a uniform. Literally normal clothes. And her motivation is the simple desire to show me how she looks in other clothes. I should probably be celebrating her taking such clear action on her own initiative, but to be perfectly honest, I'm happier to know that she wanted to look nice for my benefit. I see. Thanks, Sachi.
いえ、私の方こそこんなに可愛い服が着れて嬉しいですから。
Oh, listen to her. I muss Sachi's hair around with my hand and her face goes slightly pink. They're pretty sporty clothes, more or less the exact opposite of the maid uniform, but it actually works for you. You look good. Oh.
それは本当でしょうか?
Oh my god, just jump in my face. As soon as I express my thought, Sachi closes the distance between us in the blink of an eye, a serious expression on her face. Yeah? Might sound a little overblown, but the clothes look so natural on her that I'd almost believe she's been dressing like this all along. Of course, that's probably because I still got a vivid mental image of the way she was as a kid. I mean, you know I'm not that good at flattery, right?
そうですね。ゆうくんのお世辞は皮肉になってしまう場合が多いですから。
Listen, I can't help it. Well, that's how it is.
でも、ゆうくんに似合っていると言われるのは嬉しいです。
Alright. Even as she speaks, there's an irrepressible and energetic grin on her face. It's not like her, in a good way. It's like I've caught a glimpse of the real Sachi, the person hidden behind her iron wall of self-denial. Perfectly fine with me if that's enough to make you happy, but the date hasn't even started yet. You wait.
はい、どんなデートになるのか、今からとても楽しみです。
I've been bursting with anticipation. Whoop, already going. Yep. Holy shit, she sings way more than the other girls. Well, unless it's Machina, but Machina's stupid, so. Unlike our group trip before summer break, today we caught a cross-town bus. No, not the bus! I have bad memories with buses in this fucking game. For a shaky ride to the sea. When we arrive, Sachi trots out onto the beach a few strides ahead of me, watching as she crouches down to play with waves while softly singing her favorite song. I conclude that her good humor hasn't been dampened by the journey. Sounds like you're in a good mood, Sachi.
はい、これからゆうくんがサメさんと血みどろの死闘を繰り広げるかと思うと、自然と胸が高鳴ってしまいます。
That ain't happening, but sorry to disappoint, but that's never going to happen. Ever.
ということは、サメさんと敵対するのではなく、種族間の垣根を越えた友達になる道を選ぶというわけですね。
I hope to never encounter a shark in my life.
さすがゆうくんです。ラブ&ピースです。
Love and peace! What are we, fucking Vash the Stampede over here? That's an old anime. I'm not going to comment on your reasoning there, but if a shark shows up anywhere near the swimming area, they'd obviously keep everyone out of the water.
そういえばそうでした。
I mean, it could be like Jaws. You never know. That's really not something you should look disappointed about. But Sachi's clearly much more fired up about this date than she was on the group trip. I can't exactly criticize her for being happy, even if her enthusiasm does tend to take slightly bizarre forms. Well, we're at the beach. So far, so good. What do you want to do?
ゆうくんが望まれるなら、私はどんな遊びでも構いませんよ。
Ooh, I gotta make the decisions, huh? Even so, it seems she doesn't have any specific requests for me. Oh, it's always gotta make the decisions. Okay, let me ask you something. That trip before the break wasn't your first time at the beach, was it?
はい、まだ小さかった頃、お父さんとお母さんに何度か連れて行ってもらったことがありますから。
Please stop! So, what sort of things did you do back then?
そうですね。浮き輪に乗って水かけっこをしたり、お母さんと砂遊びをしていたと思います。
You know, the more we bring up the past, the more likely it is for the PTSD to kick in, and I'm gonna be real upset. Alright, a water fight sounds like a pretty decent place to start.
私はそれで全然問題ないのですが、ゆうくんの方こそ水かけっこで構わないんですか？
Sachi, Yuji has literally no fucking idea what he's doing. He's just... Sad to say, I'm pretty unfamiliar with this sort of thing. Since neither of us have any proposals of our own, following your parents' example seems like a decent idea. You're always saying how much you love them after all. You know, loved, past tense. Sachi, your parents. Oh, stop.
ゆうくん。
So unless you have some objection to the plan, I guess we should get changed into our swimsuits. What do you say, Sachi?
もちろん、私は大賛成です。お待たせしました。小峰幸水着バージョンです。
Swimsuit edition. I like it. I settled down to wait after stripping to my swim trunks, but it's not even 10 minutes before Sachi returns from the changing room. That was a pretty fast change of clothes by female standards.
はい、急いで着替えを済ませたので、何かが見えてしまっていても気にしないことにしました。
That sentence sounded all sorts of wrong. I really think that warrants some heed paying.
すみません。どうしても着替えにかける時間が惜しく感じてしまって。
She is so excited. Well, now I've completely lost the will to lecture her. I guess I'm a typical male in some respects.
それから水着は前回と同じものになってしまったのですが、問題なかったでしょうか？
Doesn't bother you. Oh, I don't know why they put that line in. Is that just to remind you, hey, stupid, this is literally the same swimsuit? And it's like, yeah, I know, game. Jesus. No need to worry about that. Novelty's always nice, but I don't want you splashing around in the water in maid clothes or anything.
わかりました。ゆうくんがそうおっしゃるなら、メイド服の出番はまた今度ということで。
Oh, how did I know? Also, as a risk aversion measure, I'd like to avoid playing in densely occupied areas. Is that alright with you?
それはもしかして私の身を案じてのことでしょうか？
No, you never know when assassins might be around. Yeah, no different from the scuba diving or whatever. The first priority is making sure your buddy's safe.
バディ、つまりここでの私はゆうくんの相棒ということですね。
You're my partner, all the time. Whoa. I think you misunderstood slightly, but whatever. Unless you have an objection, how about we get going?
はい、心の準備はできていますので、なんならもっと人気のない場所でも。
Alright, Sachi, let's not get a little hasty. Let's just start leaving. Sachi's little flight of delusion comes to an abrupt halt as we make our way past the beach house. She freezes on the spot, staring fixedly at a nearby stall. What? Something wrong?
見てください、ゆうくん。サメさんのフロートがレンタル中です。
Oh my god. So they are. Okay, let's go.
見てくだ ユウくん、サメさんのフロートがレンタル中です。
Oh, I see that. Come on, let's just you can just say that you want one. It's not that hard to use your mouth. Muttering in mild exasperation, I hand over a few bills to the white-haired old man behind the counter.
すみません。このサメさんが橋の下に捨てられた猫さんのような瞳で私を見つめてくるもので。
Use us, please. This strikes me as a slightly self-serving account of events.
しかも青ザメからシュモクザメまで取り揃えているとなると、どのサメさんにするか迷ってしまいます。
Dude, hammerheads are fucking weird sharks. I don't seem very interested in the Sachi orca though.
だってシャチとサチって似てるじゃないですか。
I knew she was gonna say that. I fucking knew it. I see. The girl seems to have a fairly unique method of classifying sea life.
決めました。今回はこのジンベエザメさんにすることにします。
It's a whale shark day. Okay. You sure about that? Is your final answer?
はい、そうと決まれば早くこのサメさんを海に浮かべましょう。
She literally just pushes the freaking she just pushes it out to sea. Sounds like a plan. Alright.
見てください、ユウくん。私、今サメさんに乗っています。
Hold on, Sachi. I'm busy looking up at the sky because I'm about to monologue real quick. Yeah, as we wade out from the shallows, Sachi slides herself on top of the shark float and calls out in a happy tone of voice. So you are. Looks fun.
どうしたんですか、ユウくん。さっきより元気がなくなっているみたいですが。
I don't think I was energetic in the first place. No, I think you've gotten yourself worked up to a fever pitch.
確かにそうかもしれません。このサメさんにまたがってからなんだか胸の高鳴りが止まりません。
I can't tell if this is good or bad.
例えるならこう三国志の豪傑呂布が石と場にまたがった時のような力強さが。
Can't escape Blue Boo, man. I've been wondering this for a while now, but why do you love sharks so much?
それを語り出すと2時間ほどかかってしまうのですが、よろしいですか？
What? 2 hours? Do me a favor and just squeeze it down to 3 minutes.
わかりました。では簡潔に説明させていただきますが、
She had a 2-hour movie-length story.
私がお父さんとお母さんから初めて買ってもらったプレゼントがサメさんのぬいぐるみだったんです。
Ugh! Stop! You wanted 2 hours to explain that?
いいえ、本来ならそこから私がどのような形でサメさんへの愛着を深めていったかのお話を。
It's like, alright, just stop right there, Sachi. Yeah, I think I'll pass on that, but rest assured I'm now completely convinced that you're a shark fanatic without peer.
ありがとうございます。
I mean, you can like sharks, but if one attacks me, I'm punching him right in the nose. But then I'll miss, and my hand will end up flying into his mouth, and then it'll be over. Should you really be thanking me for that one? Well, we're fated to part with Mr. Shark here in only 3 short hours. You better enjoy it to the fullest while you can.
はい、サメさんとのコンビネーションを駆使してユウくんに水をかけまくります。
That's not even fair. You have a mount. Very well. You'd better come at me with the determination of a Marine storming Vietnam's fearsome Iron Triangle. Fucking Kyuchi.
望むところです。
Oh. And so, we put. Oh, no.
ユウくんは強すぎます。
You're damn right I am. Her stamina completely exhausted, Sachi trudges along at my side, moaning reproachfully. The limp, deflated shark float under her arm eloquently tells the tale of our fierce and tragic battle. You lost because you stayed on that shark until the bitter end. It severely limited your mobility, which is weird because it's a mount. But I guess, you know, whatever.
一方、 ゆうくんは長い間水中に身を潜めてからのゲリラ攻撃でしたから、出現予測も難しく。
And that's how it was in the Vietnam War. Yeah, a simple application of the underground tunnel strategy that the VC God, yeah, I knew adopted in reaction to the American reliance on Agent Orange and aerial bombing. There it is.
おかげでゆうくんの体力は底なしだということを思い知らされました。
Oh, muttering to herself in a disappointed tone, Sachi drops limply to the sand and draws a few long, ragged breaths. That sounded like a sack of meat just after that lengthy struggle. I guess it's only natural that she'd be a little tired. That said, you got nothing to be depressed about. You did pretty damn good to hang on to me as long as you did.
ありがとうございます。
Isn't this where Michiru got a crab like shoved up her hoo-ha or something? And then Sachi like did finger things? Like it was an incredibly weird scene, okay? Let's just, all I know is Sachi made Michiru, you know. Feel like taking a short break? We could put playing with the sand on hold for a while.
私なら大丈夫です。まだやれます。
Damn, the stamina kicked in. What, now she's all a bloodied boxer trying to convince the referee for another round? So you say, but I just saw you more or less collapse onto the ground, so...
それでも平気です。あれは水かけ用の体力で、砂遊び用の体力はちゃんと温存してありますから。
That's pretty amazing. Sure, fine, let's leave it at that. Alright, since you're that determined, let's move on to the sandcastle.
はい、前回来た時に見つけた絶好のサンドアートスポットがありますので、誰かに取られてしまわないうちに確保しましょう。
And so, someone captured. Is that really going to be an issue? Sachi pushes herself on the beach and strides off with newfound determination, mumbling a few dubious words to myself. I follow in her wake. Alright. Oh.
それじゃあまたね、お姉ちゃん。
Aw, were you helping them?
バイバイ。
Because they were there in our spot.
目つきの悪い兄ちゃんもまたな。
Hey, fuck you too, kid. Alright. After changing back into our street clothes, we say goodbye and watch the children scamper up the orange-dyed beach. To our side towers a structure that's less a child's sandcastle and more of a genuine castle made of sand. Apparently, Sachi missed her chance to build some castle or other the last time we were here, so the two of us began reconstructing it, but Sachi's silent, diligent labors, reminiscent of a well-trained recruit digging some massive ditch, quickly attracted a bustling crowd of curious children. In the end, we integrated them into a large-scale operation. You're popular with the kids everywhere you go, aren't you, Sachi?
私にその自覚はないのですが、マキちゃんは話しかけやすいオーラが出てると言っていました。
I mean, I feel like most of us would find Sachi approachable. An aura of approachability, huh? I wish I had that. Come to think of it, I felt something like that when I met her as a child.
でも、あの子たちが手伝ってくれたおかげで、とても立派なお城が作れました。
Sachi gently runs a finger around one parapet of her masterpiece. Her expression is filled with the satisfaction of an artist who's fulfilled their goal, but also tinged with a definite hint of fatigue. Looks like you used a lot of energy, though.
いえ、レイちゃんも時間いっぱいまで私のことを見守ってくれていましたし、まだまだ大丈夫です。
I'm going to guess Ale-chan is her white shark. Not sure when it got the name.
見てください、ゆうくん。海がとても綺麗です。
I mean, we could always just do the stereotypical thing now where we do the romantic walk along the beach, or we could just go home. Yeah, with that setting sun and all.
前に来た時も思いましたが、やっぱりこういう景色は素敵ですね。
Smiling fondly, Sachi stares off into the vividly colored horizon. Watching her face from the side, it's almost enough to make me forget about the burden she's carrying. Hey, Sachi, you have fun today?
はい。今日は私の人生の中で一番楽しかった日と言ってしまってもいいかもしれません。
You enjoyed it that much?
はい。サメさんの浮き輪に乗って水かけっこをして砂遊びでお城を作ってまるで小さい頃にゆうくんと公園で遊んでいた時のような楽しさを感じてしまいました。
Oh no. Sachi, we went over this. Sachi expresses her feelings in unusual detail, gesticulating enthusiastically. Her happiness is so obvious that I'm forced to give myself a mental pat on the head for inviting her. I see. That's good to hear. Can we get Yuji head pats?
そういうゆうくんは楽しかったですか？
I don't know what fun is anymore. Haven't quite expected this question for a moment. I'm at a loss for a response.
楽しくなかったですか？
No, I did enjoy myself. Wasn't that bad messing around like a kid again.
それなら良かったです。
It just blew me away. But why'd you ask?
それは周りの反応ばかりを気にして自分の気持ちなんて考えていないようなところが昔のゆうくんにはあったからです。
I'm literally nodding in real life, like, yup. So that's how Sachi saw me as a kid. Maybe I did back then, but people do change. You used to be a tomboy who pulled people around the playground, remember?
そうですね。あの頃の私は本当に悪い子でしたから。
Oh, stop. You weren't no bad girl or anything. You really think so? So why did I say it like that? You really think so?
はい。
As I suspected, Sachi's still plagued with regret. I'm more convinced than ever that she consciously blames herself for what happened. Well, I mean... Her voice has grown thick with grief, as if she's barely expressing the desire to shout out bitter apologies. Alright, guess that's enough reminiscing for one day. Let's get going before the buses stop running. Aw, we don't even get to do what I wanted with my fucking stereotypical romantic romantic walk on the beach. But when I cut off the conversation, Sachi jerks her head up and to stare into my eyes. Something wrong?
いえ、どうかしていません。
Okay. Her reaction just now clearly suggested she had something to say, but I'm not going to drag it out of her. After a moment's pause, I begin to walk up the beach toward the nearby bus stop. Does she want to stay more? What? Oh, shit! Are we gonna have a romantic walk on the beach? Well, it's more like her being behind me and not holding my hand, but in that instant, I feel something pulling on me from behind. When I turn back, Sachi's reached out with one hand to grab my sleeve. Sachi? Come on, what, Yuji? I call her name, but there's no immediate response. You have something you want to say? Yeah, she's gonna say she doesn't want to go home. Hmm?
まだ帰りたくありません。
Oh! Guys, she's evolving! She's learning! Holy shit. This is like way more big than you'd think, man.
もっともっとゆうくんと一緒に遊んでいたいです。
In response to my decisive, let's get going, she offers outright resistance. There's no real logic behind her objection. It's a selfish, emotional demand and nothing more. To hear such words coming from Sachi's mouth is so surprising that I find myself entirely lost for an answer. You're damn right! And even as the silence stretches on, her hand maintains its timid but steady grip on the sleeve of my shirt. Sachi. Aww. Her face is downcast, her eyes avoiding mine. I can't make out her expression, but I can tell that her cheeks have grown red. You could just tell, too. Normally speaking, this would be nothing but a cute moment of selfishness, the sort of thing girlfriends are generally entitled to. But in this case, it represents a serious violation of Sachi's internal rules, which is what we want! I understand what you're saying, so could you let me go for a second?
すみません。今すぐに。
She just does it anyway. My words finally snap Sachi out of her little reverie, and she jerks her hand back as if bitten by a snake. Aww.
すみません。私、自分でわがままを言うのは悪い子だって言っておきながら、あんなことを。
Sachi, it's okay to be selfish. Every now and then.
今のは完全に私の失言ですので、ゆうくんも忘れてください。
Sachi bows in flustered apology, her voice tinged with regret. Judging from her reaction, it's obvious that her behavior right now was a pure spur-of-the-moment reflex. She clearly hadn't seen it coming any more than I had. Okay, I understand that it was a slip on your part, but I can't promise you I'll forget it. Tell me something. If you knew it was a bad thing to do, why'd you grab my clothes in the first place? Oh.
それはゆうくんと一緒にいるのが楽しかったからだと思います。
Even so, there's no way you would have said something like that before.
それはそうかもしれません。
The change! So why now? Why do you think you said that, Sachi? Come on, Sachi.
それは自分でもわかりません。
I can live with that response. So you haven't quite realized it yet, huh? Not consciously, at least. Okay, Sachi. I want to have a serious conversation. Oh.
真面目な話ですか?
Yeah. Oh. If Sachi's ever going to regain what she needs to be whole again, this is where things have to start. This is my chance. Oh! Oh! Silently steeling myself, I stare directly into Sachi's eyes. Do you remember what I told you on the rooftop?
学園の屋上でということは、私たちが付き合うことになった日のことでしょうか?
Yeah, I told you I was going to help you be yourself, right?
はい。あの日の言葉はしっかりと覚えています。
Sachi closes her eyes as if to recall the scene in question. In other words, Sachi, I was saying that right now. You're not yourself.
私じゃない。
That's right. Blaming yourself entirely for events from your past, focused on being a more perfect good girl than anyone else, never asking for anything, keeping a tight lid on your own thoughts, obeying every order you receive like some kind of robot. That's the person you are today. Oh.
じゃあ、もしかしてゆうくんは私に何があったのかを。
I mean, I know exactly what happened. Of course. I know about the accident on your birthday, and I know how you've lived since then. Oof. Oof. It's all coming out. That said, I'm not going to tell you the path you chose was wrong. Why do you look so surprised?
だって今の私が私でいられていないとしたら、それはいけないことだって言われると思ったから。
Well, from a normal perspective, maybe it would be. But unfortunately, I'm pretty warped myself. I don't want to judge you. I just want you to realize something.
気づいてほしいだけ?
Holy shit, this conversation. Yeah. In other words, you have to find the answer on your own.
自分で考える。
Why did you make that selfish request just now? What do I want you to realize? And finally, how should you live from now on? God damn. This is a formal request. And I know full well that you can't turn it down. God damn. You're a good girl who does what she's told, right? In other words, you're not going to refuse.
それは
That said, I don't care how long it takes you to figure it out. It shouldn't be an unreasonable demand since there's no deadline.
確かにその通りですが
So, do you accept?
はい、わかりました。
Thanks. Damn. It's a familiar exchange. Since I entered Mahama Academy, I've heard it dozens of times. Faced with a request for help, Sachi nods her head and answers with the words, yes, certainly. What the fuck? The gears shift in her head and a new task assumes top priority. Secure in the knowledge that my order has taken effect, I once more begin to walk up the beach. Jesus. On the bus back to Mishima Cape, we sit side by side in silence, gazing out the windows the whole way. It's a slightly unfortunate way to finish the beach date Sachi had been so enthusiastic about, but in exchange, we've taken a crucial step forward. Yeah, we have. For the first time, the pathological good girl was outright selfish. In return, I offered her 3 cryptic questions, and once more, she learned that I'm familiar with her past. A lot of things happened this day. All these events undoubtedly caught Sachi by surprise. Her head's likely packed full of questions, her mood unsettled and anxious. She's confronting a change in herself that she can't understand, and struggling to decipher the meaning of the problem I've set for her. And in these matters, there's no mathematical formula to apply in order to get a correct solution. No simple cause and effect like pulling a trigger to kill a human being. For that very reason, Sachi has to find the answer herself. Jeez. What the shit? To realize what she's overlooking. That's her only chance to regain something like normality. Damn. That was so good. Dude. This is gonna be a shorter episode, but that's a perfect spot to end. Holy shit. So many things. Oh, we are taking those steps. A lot of them. And I think I hope we get a good ending. Oh, jeez.